Hello, today is March the 6th, 2020. Another treat for us. We have Norm Winsky. He's going to tell us all about his astro analysis of what's going to happen with stocks and commodities. Norm, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Thanks for having me on. Okay, when I was last on the 20th, I showed these different planetary events. We had a big cluster of planetary events all converging between the 20th and the 24th that weekend. And then also there was some more activity on the weekend of the 28th. You might want to take a screenshot of this so you can follow along, because I'm going to show you how everything came out. Okay, so here's the general principle. Different signs of different planets tend to go with different commodities, and they respond to. There's like on your radio tuner there. They respond to certain frequencies on the radio channel on your radio there. And commodities tend to only respond to certain signs of certain planets. Whereas the stock market is like the big basket, everything. It's like a radio tuner that takes in that relays all the stations all at the same time. So if you think about the stock market, there's a little bit of everything in the stock market, whereas commodities are like narrow filters, you know. All right, so there. I hope you got a screenshot of that. We're going to move on. I'm going to go over roughly in alphabetical order. We had something for the weekend of the 28th for cocoa. A red arrow means it did not work. It's not effective. And like Jeff often says, I believe that if a signal fails, it often will accelerate in, like Jeff likes to say, in grand style. And you can see there when this failed, if you put a stop in there, you want to be aggressive, then you might stop in reverse, and then you might take a small loss and then go the other way and go with the acceleration, and you might come out okay. Coffee had a big cluster right on the 20th there. We had three different things all pointing to the 20th there, 2 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and you can see a nice pullback low there for coffee. If you're not familiar with coffee futures, this is a bit of a monster. Every penny move. You see that scale over there? Those are full pennies in coffee worth $375. So a 10-cent move in coffee is $3,750. So that's caught that low there. You could have made some very nice money. All right, here's corn. Corn, again, grains usually dance to the moon, but corn decided it was going to take this one off and not work, so there's a red arrow there. However, I bet a lot of you people like to follow the precious metals, and they also dance to the moon. There's your, we had the new moon coming up. We had the new moon right after that weekend that I was on this show. And there we go. That's actually, it was better than this chart shows because the new moon was on Saturday, and when we opened for Sunday night trading, that's when the gold topped like 4 in the morning, U.S. Eastern time on early Monday morning. And then you can see it had a big drop from there. Here's hogs. Hogs did nicely. It had a nice low there on the weekend of the 28th. And there's crude oil. This is a thing of beauty. Look at that. We pretty much nailed the high of the month on the crude oil there, right around the 19th of the 20th. And there's your silver again, precious metals, right with the gold there, topping out with the moon. Beans had a little spike high there. The greens, like the moon, most of the time. The corn didn't respond, but beans did a little bit. And then they broke down. You broke your support there and accelerated to the downside right there. And here's your S&P. We have multiple signals for right around the 20th, and that turned out to be sort of a short-term low. We had a big pop-up on the 21st, and we topped out, and then we went down for a big low on the 24th and the 24th, 25th, and we rallied up, and then we had a big down the weekend of the 28th. You might remember that's been the low, 28.55. I think some of you folks are Fibonacci fans. Please contact me if you know better. I couldn't find a Fibonacci level that explains why we bottomed at 28.55. However, I'm also a Gann student, and Mr. Gann said there's music in the markets. I have a musical background in my youth. I played the violin, and then later on I studied. Mr. Gann said there was music in the market. I went and studied the mathematics of music and found out that the Pythagorean musical scale, which is what Western music is based on, projected 3 intervals down, semitones on your piano keyboard there, projected 28.53 within 2 handles of that low right there on the 28th. So that was pretty good. And 28.70 was 50% retracement. on your Fibonacci scale, but that busted through there by about 15 handles, so that was not so good on the Fibonacci thing. Here's your T-bonds. T-bonds, bonds have been unbelievably strong, and they plowed right through my little window there, but we did get a little short-term top over there on the 28th. Here's the U.S. dollar. The currencies danced to the moon, and there you go. You made a nice top. You were within a day of the top there on the dollar index. Here's your wheat, same deal as the other grains, topped out right around the 20th, just ahead of the moon. Yeah, euro was unbelievable. Both, you'll see the yen here in a second. They both did the same thing. Both bottom right near the moon there, a new moon. Here's your yen as nearly almost perfect, just maybe about, not really, it's amazing weekend there, on the weekend, the yen. Here's my day trading. As Jeff knows, I do a little day trading. I give out the times for different planetary events. Here's one sample we had yesterday, Thursday the 5th, when Jupiter was 180 degrees. I'm sorry, the moon was 180 degrees of Jupiter, 11:57. Let's go look at the chart, see if if we could have made some money on that. Look at that. The market comes down at about 11:54, 55, 56, and there's 11:57 right near the bottom of that move. If you went long there, you popped up and you could have made potentially 7 or 8 handles, about 350 to 400. That's right, about 350 to 400 dollars in about 6 minutes. So a little better than minimum wage.
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah. So here's what's coming up. It's huge, Jeff, huge. I don't use those kind of words very often, but this is big. We got Monday. We got the full moon, and it's not just any full moon. We have a full moon almost every month. I think there's 13 full moons in a year. But this is not just any full moon. This one's at perigee. That only occurs every 14 months. When you have what is perigee? That's when the moon has multiple cycles. Last I heard, something like 29 different cycles. Lunar cycles they discern. There's perigee, apogee cycles, I think 25 days. As you know, the full moon cycle is about 29 and a half days. So those two cycles only correspond about every 14 months. They're going to get together, and that's when you look up at the sky and go, wow, look at that full moon. It looks like it's really big and really close, and that's what's going to happen. So that exerts an extra gravitational pull on the Earth that, in addition to the people going crazy in the markets, that could trigger high tides, flooding, seismic events, all kinds of things, And then, but wait, as they say on late night TV commercials, Jeff, that's not all. That night we have Mercury going direct in Aquarius, and Mercury turns retrograde about 3 times a year for about 3 weeks, and then it turns direct, and that's one of my top things when the planets, due to the rolling motion of the Earth passing planets or they're passing us, it appears, that's the operative word here, it appears that they stop their motion and then reverse their direction. And so when the planets change trend, that's when the markets tend to change trend. And so we have all these cycles converging for Monday the 9th, either in the afternoon or that night, okay? That's very rare for all of these cycles to converge within a short amount of time. That's, I think, going to be really big. Then we have something, and then we also have a big cycle for the U.S. I do that, what's called a natal chart for the U.S., we take a snapshot of the planets when our country was founded on July the 4th, 1776, and look at the planets now. And we have a big cycle. Pluto is going to be 180 degrees where Mercury was on the 4th of July, so that could be, we could have some bad news situation there with the 9th. And then we have one more where we have Jupiter lining up with Uranus and so forth. So that's what's coming up early next week. If you want more, get a hold of me. I got the whole month mapped out. We got some big things coming up later in the month. Saturn's going to come around and do something that only does every 30 years, 29 and a half years, and so forth. And then, of course, we got a new moon coming up in about 2 weeks. So anyway, looking forward to helping some of your folks there, Jeff. Here's my contact information. We're neighboring here in Naples, Florida. Here's my phone, 239-594-3939. And there's my email, nwinsky@embarkmail.com. Notice there's a Q in the middle, not a G, a Q. A lot of people put G in there. And then you can call me on Skype at nwinsky_1. Looking forward to helping some of your folks. Jeff, I've been doing the markets studying the markets over 50 years. I'm a former Chicago floor trigger. I did that for 12 years, and now I'm in sunny Florida, hoping to help some folks because I had to struggle and learn all this all on my own. I'm hoping I can help some people accelerate their learning.
Those are really amazing calls. I mean, every call doesn't work, but the ones that work obviously more than made up for the ones that lost. So all this time I've been enjoying the Florida sun. I should have been looking at the moon and the planets, huh?
There you go. Well, you can have it all, Jeff. You can have it all.
Okay, Norm, thanks a lot. We'll see you later.
All right, thanks a lot.
Okay, bye.
Bye.